लोग हमारे तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार,
वनक्कम,
नमस्कार,
खुश आमदीद,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम,
सत श्री अकाल,
एक अंदर की मंदिर में
जय स्वामी नारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण,
जय जिनेंद्र।
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते हैं या अली मदद,
मौला अली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजियां मतलब बोलेंगे नीसा बुला बलजन। हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के दौरे में फालतू बाबा
and of course myself फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और ड्राइव टाइम शो that's going to make it totally exciting and totally मस्तानी बन जाने।
True that बन जाने। Let me tell you, अगर आप सोच रहे oh my god कोविड शेल्टर इन प्लेस का फिर से कुछ आ गया है, well Banjan is 248th day of sheltering in place, but we already have crossed 9 months. यार इतने में तो बच्चा निकल आता है बंधुजन में, और हमारा यहाँ पे सोल्यूशन निकला नहीं है। Well, there is a lot of positivity going on in terms of the vaccination and everything. Vaccines I think बन रही हैं अभी, they already have approved, it's come to the thing, it's going to be going into manufacturing I suppose. I'm not sure what delay is, but we'll keep an eye on those things and we'll definitely share with you guys for sure. But लेकिन अभी के लिए let's see what's happening with our roads. So here रास्ते का हाल total sustainable.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
Yeah, but then wherever you are, give us a call here and tell us what's happening on the roads. Probably we may not have all the information for you guys, but I do have some information for you guys in terms of congestions on the road. There's some kind of congestion in Castro Valley area, but this actually is the 238. And 880, I'm sorry, not 680, 880 का intersection जो है ना वहाँ पे there's a backup, which is like 2 exits का backup चल रहा है वहाँ पे. Well, it's a clear weather outside, not like yesterday, no fog, but sunny. But sunny तो है, लेकिन बड़जान sunny के साथ साथ the temperature also is pretty low. It's like lower the 40s basically. Right. High मतलब might go only in the lower 60s, 63, 64 maximum. It's kind of cloudy in some parts of the Bay Area, but don't worry, clear up. We have a very sunny Friday today, and also tomorrow also is going to be kind of sunny. So is Sunday actually. So no chances of rain or anything else for us. So yes, the weekend before Thanksgiving is going to be nice. What's going to happen on the week of Thanksgiving? I don't know. We'll get more information as we get into that time, right? But right now, a new news about a disabled tractor trailer on 101 northbound exiting at Keogh Avenue in San Mateo. So watch out for that. It's not disturbing traffic and also it's okay. But there's an accident with injuries on 85 southbound exiting in Camden Avenue. Little bit of bottleneck over there at the exit. But CHP is on the scene, so probably it'll open up. The freeway looking as a COVID situation. In fact, I don't know if it's actually a blessing or that's going to be something like that, because suddenly the traffic is reduced. Yeah. Drastically. We don't have something called a drive time traffic. It's because sometimes I feel like this particular update we give you guys is going to become totally obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolute, now it's absolute.
Whatever.
Very bad joke. But anyway, right now let's go see what's happening with the news for you guys. And the news we're going to go, is not in headlines, but we're going to give you the whole news in detail, because we need you guys catch up a lot of stuff, right, Faltwani?
Yeah.
Starting from coronavirus all the way until the
yes,
new...
But I'm a little heartbroken today, Altibaba.
Why? What happened, Faltwani?
Yesterday, one of my favorite series that I watch loyally, and I have to watch this final season fully. I haven't seen it. Supernatural ended. And my favorite character in Supernatural dies.
Dean. Oh my god. Yeah, but hey, excuse me, Faltoni, please, for the past how many 27 seasons they had? 15 seasons.
Yeah.
For the past 15 seasons, every season he dies. He comes back again afterwards.
No, in this he genuinely dies, and Sam dies too.
In every season.
No, Sam dies too.
In every season I think I've seen around 7 seasons of it, Manajan. In fact, I binge watch. The only season I binge watch, I'm not kidding, Manajan, historic. Altu Baba doesn't binge watch.
I binge watched.
Yeah, in fact, she put me onto this particular CDs.
I
put you on CDs actually, because I was binge watching that. I liked the first part of it, the way it started off, and I really binge watched for 7 or 8 seasons.
Yeah.
But of course, I could not continue after Fatoni kept it on. She's going on and on. But the point is, that's every season.
I'm heartbroken right
now. Don't worry. There are some of the series have gone beyond 15 seasons.
No, they've actually said that was the season finale.
That is what they want people to feel, Patrani. Well, anyway, I'll tell you what. You never know, Dean my bounce back, because every time he dies, he goes to hell. They bring him back next season.
No, he's not going to hell this time. He attained moksha. Basically, he went to heaven, and he's with his parents and.
So
blah, blah,
finally they say heaven. I'm disappointed in the series.
Yeah.
I was very happy to see the series because it talked about the agnostic approach to life.
Yeah.
That there's hell or heaven, whatever it is, that is a different kind of a concept. But now I think if he's going to go to heaven, I don't like it.
CNN wrote a total spoiler on it, and I was reading it as my heart was like, oh no.
So you know, right? Every season he dies, so there's no big deal writing a spoiler because they'll bring him back at somewhere or the other.
Well, let me tell you another horror story that's in the making, Banujan.
No, we don't want to hear about Trump.
Yeah. Well, there is alarm over Trump's coup in slow motion right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, but this is the news. You got to pay attention right now. Go on.
Okay, so what's happening is Republican lawmakers from Michigan were summoned to the White House on Friday, that's today, as defeated U.S. President Donald Trump continued efforts to subvert results of the presidential elections amid continued deadlock over transfer of power to incoming President-elect Joe Biden. State lawmakers are being told to defy the popular mandate that the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris ticket won and award Michigan's 16 electoral votes to Trump on the grounds that the election was tainted, a contention Trump's team has been unable to prove in court. Now they're pressurizing Republican lawmakers there. The same thing they are doing in Pennsylvania, where they're asking Pennsylvania Republican legislature to determine the electors and hand over the electoral votes to Donald Trump. And to deprive Joe Biden of the presidency. The presidential election has been called for Biden in a 306 to 232 margin, if you remember, and denying him 46 electoral votes through political and legal subterfuge, which could keep Trump in the White House for a second term, even though he lost both the popular vote and electoral college.
Yeah, I had a question. So in Indian politics, I do understand one thing, like wherein you can actually buy MPs and you can corrose them into doing stuff and all stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they actually are party voted. They're like, they have to align with the party. Now in America, I thought it's different, right? So if a candidate is Republican, they won the particular whatever, right? Can they change sides? Can they suddenly say, no, I'm no longer Republican, I'm going to become a Democrat?
They could always withdraw. There are some people who have moved over, right, who've shifted party lines.
So will they still be the whatever senator of the particular state or whatever it is? No,
they could, but
really?
they've been elected by the people, right?
So with the people, yeah, correct. So I don't know about them.
And I don't think people vote along party lines anymore. So here is what political analysts and commentators are sounding alarm over, Bandajan, and this is something that we really need to be concerned about. The legal challenges to the election are pretty much toast. Right? Realizing that the courts are a lost cause, Trump is now trying to convince elected officials from each of the states to overturn the will of the voters. This is a political coup. That is a definition of anti-democracy, according to a former congressional counsel called Daniel Goldman. So this is something that's a matter of huge concern, especially because right now Trump is getting setbacks. Like I said, his bid to overturn the results in the November 3rd election was dealt another blow today when a high-ranking Georgia official announced that Joe Biden was the winner after the manual hand recount in the state, in Georgia, Bandajan. And Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger poured more cold water on the Trump campaign's effort when he confirmed that a manual recount and audit of all ballots cast in the southern state had determined that Biden was indeed a winner. Aside from that, there's also in Pennsylvania, actually not Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, in Georgia itself, now there's going to be a Senate runoff, right? So Vice President Mike Pence is now headed into the fray of two red-hot U.S. Senate campaigns. He's going there to make sure that he can bolster enough Republican support and make sure that they maintain Senate control.
I'm really surprised one thing, Falguni. Republicans, the so-called Republicans who actually are in the office right now, right? Now, don't you think if at all they support this particular regime?
Yeah, that's a coup.
I call it a regime. The Trump regime. So if they support, don't you think they are doing disservice to their Americans who align themselves as Republicans?
Do you think they care? They just want to stay in power.
Yeah, they stay in power.
And their whole thing is now, actually, Al-Baba, they're worried about the fact that 70 million people showed up for Trump. So they think that by aligning with Donald Trump, they are keeping that 70 million voter base.
Oh no, the voter base actually voted as Republicans because the Republican manifesto is different, right? They have a different agenda. I really respect the Republicans' ideology as a Republican. So if you look at it, many of us who actually are immigrants here, who are business owners, who actually are, will make sense. It makes sense to have a particular thing like a Republican thing. But again, if you have people like this who are like, going to make this a fascist kind of a regime, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Well, here's the thing. With Donald Trump contesting Joe Biden's victory, right, Pence has left Washington for the Defend the Majority rallies, apparently,
Wow.
in Canton and Gainesville, Republican areas where David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler will need strong turnout to defeat Democrats Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. Good Republicans never vote alone, guys, Perdue, a businessman, told a rally near Macon, Georgia on Thursday. Loeffler also urged supporters to put out yard signs, attach bumper stickers to their cars, and volunteer to knock on doors in staff phone banks. With Trump no longer on the ballot, Republicans and Democrats both face challenges getting large numbers of voters to the polls in January. Pence's visit could also help address hurdles that Republicans face on their own. He traveled to Georgia with U.S. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, cousin of that David Perdue who's running right now, and leading party figure who served as the first Republican governor of Georgia since the Reconstruction, apparently. So they are bringing together, they're putting everything to make sure that they win the race. Georgia has never elected a Democratic senator since 1996, but Republican confidence is now shaken by Biden's narrow margin lead over Trump, making him the first Democratic presidential candidate to win the state in nearly 3 decades. So you can actually go look up this story, Banjan. It's a pretty interesting story where these Republican Senate candidates, right, that Kelly Loeffler, they and David Perdue, they apparently because the state races didn't go their way, they're now demanding the resignation of the Secretary of State, who is himself a Republican, Brad Raffensperger, and they're saying that he conducted, that's why he conducted that manual recount, and again Biden emerged a winner in that particular.
Yeah, that's actually they're trying to punish him for not doing what they want. It's a total, it seems like a fascist regime right now.
Yeah. Well, let's tell you a little bit about, the power play that Trump is trying to do right now. Like what he's trying to do, like I mentioned, Manijan, he is reaching out to the fact to the Republican legislators in each of these states where he has lost, right, where he's going to get these significant electoral votes like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and all these places where there are Republican strongholds, and he's asking them to overturn the popular vote and the electoral votes. So that is what is going on in the on the political front, Bandajan, and one of the biggest concerns that people are talking about is the fact that also that there are Republican voters who believe that there is no way in hell, in quotes. Okay, that's what they're saying, that Trump lost. Yeah. And much like there are many people who say that if Trump says, they believe it when Trump is coming out and saying, I have irrefutable proof of fraud. Courts won't listen, and I'm now calling on Americans to take up arms. We would go, is what people are saying, Republican voters. If he says take up arms and fight others, then Republican voters are saying that they will follow through.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of them. In fact, they're saying that they're preparing for a civil war, apparently, against America's leftists.
Yeah.
Oh my
you know
God.
why you use the word fascism right now? Fascism is that, right?
Yeah.
It's an ultra-nationalistic view of things.
Yeah.
And of course, it's authoritarian regime kind of a thing, which actually has dictators who actually are people who are driving it.
Yeah.
Right? So, in other words, what's happening over here is just that, right? Supreme Leader wants to make sure that all these people are there to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, but that's I saw a movie called A Lot of Wars. And that's what they do, right? America was trying to fund the people who are the fascists in Africa.
Oh.
That's what's happening over here right now.
Well, America was trying to fund, or I thought it was China.
No. They want to sell arms and ammunition, right?
Oh, God.
But go watch the movie, but it's called Lot of Wars. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. It's a good movie.
Okay. Well, either way, Banjan, this is actually, there are groups called South Plains Patriots. a few hundred members that include a reactionary force of about 36 people, including this one particular guy called some Friar and his son Caleb, who actually conduct, like, you know how they have these militia camps? They conduct firearms training. And they're saying that in this little town of Sundown, which has about 1,400 people, that all of them are willing to go, and they're preparing for the possibility of a civil war. Anyway, if that has alarmed you, Banajan, let's also tell you there's something else to alarm you.
What?
U.S. health authorities are braced for further increases in COVID-19 infections, hospitalizations, and
Really?
deaths. Yeah, on Friday, capping a week in which the spread of the novel coronavirus accelerated ahead of the next week's Thanksgiving holiday. CDC is saying, please do not travel. Do not travel. The 7-day rolling average of new COVID-19 cases reached more than 165,000 on Thursday, while the 7-day average for deaths climbed up to 1,359, more than any day since late May, according to a Reuters tally of public health data.
And as of yesterday, Banjan, if you want to get data about this, please go get the proper data at different sources. In fact, even Google and on Facebook actually have compiling data out here. As of yesterday, November 19th, right? November 19th, yesterday, day for yesterday. Yesterday, the total new cases in California has gone up to 13,157, which actually at the time of peak, you remember when it was at peak in July, was 12,000. So, Banjan, please understand this actually is increasing. Oh my God, this is going to be like, that way I think Gavin Newsom is a good thing by actually asking us to shut down.
Well,
Yeah.
we are on a curfew, Banajan, for the next month. So please make a note. 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Every day, we have a curfew in the state of California.
Starting Saturday, this Saturday.
Starting this Saturday. It's 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And also, people are requesting to please stay home, practice physical distancing, and also all the requirements like wash your hands regularly, make sure that you're staying safe. Okay, there is good news on one end, which is that Pfizer is going to be applying to U.S. health regulators on Friday for emergency use authorization of its COVID-19 vaccine, the first such application and a major step towards providing protection against the new coronavirus. The application to the FDA comes just days after Pfizer and German partner BioNTech reported final trial results that showed that the vaccine was 95% effective in preventing COVID-19 with no major safety concerns. Pfizer shares have risen 1.6%. BioNTech climbed 6% on the news that a vaccine could soon be available, raising hopes for the end of a pandemic that has claimed more than 250,000 lives in the United States and over 1.3 million lives worldwide, Banjan.
Yeah, and of course, Santa Clara County also is data. They actually have the new dashboard come up right now, because initially they had some issues, but actually it's gone up. It's come to around 265 new cases. Yeah, and at the peak time it was around averaging around 269. So you can imagine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's also tell you that the application also of this particular vaccine includes safety data on about 100 children, 12 to 15 years of age. The company said that 45% of their trial participants were 56 to 85 years of age as well. All right, let's go and talk a little bit about other stuff that's happening. Johnson & Johnson has now been ordered to pay $120 million in damages in the New York baby powder case. If you remember that a Brooklyn woman and her husband had blamed her cancer on asbestos exposure that was caused from using Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Justice Gerald Lebowitz of the State Supreme Court in Manhattan reduced the payout from $325 million a jury awarded to Donna Olson, 67, and Robert Olson, 65, in May 2019 following a 14-week trial. So while upholding the liability finding, Lebowitz wrote on November 11 that the damages were too high, that the Olsons could either accept $120 million or have a new trial on the damages. So that's the update from the Johnson & Johnson case. There's another update with regard to Apple that's going to have to pay. They have just settled, and with regard to the iPhone settlement, Apple has agreed to pay $113 million to dozens of states over a previous practice of deliberately slowing down older iPhones to extend their battery life. The company, which settled an investigation by 34 states, was accused of not being transparent about its battery problems that led to the unexpected device shutdowns. Instead of disclosing the issue or replacing the batteries, it pushed a software update in December 2016 that impacted the performance of older iPhone models. News of this practice outraged many Apple users, including me, igniting what some called a battery gate. Many believed it was an effort to get people to buy new iPhones. So that's something that's of concern. In tech news, Amazon's a pilot by online giant Amazon and 2 stock exchanges showed how moving share trading from costly physical servers to cloud computing could save money and reduce the potential for outages, the company said on Friday. Facebook, for the first time on Thursday, disclosed numbers on the prevalence of hate speech on its platform, saying that out of every 10,000 content views in the third quarter, 10 to 11 included hate speech. And in news from India, Bandajan, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is praising the thwarting of, the terror plot, right? Security forces in India thwarted a terror plot by the Jaish-e-Mohammed, I think, and where they arrested people. And he said that this nefarious plot to target grassroots level democratic exercise in Jammu and Kashmir by Pakistani based terrorist organization Jaish-e-Mohammed was thwarted by our security forces. And he said the large cache of weapons and explosives with them indicates that their efforts to wreak major havoc and destruction has once again been thwarted. And these are 4 terrorists that they neutralized apparently.
Yeah, but again, just the 4 people at the plebe level, right?
Yeah, exactly.
One more surgical strike is required.
Yeah, but also what India is doing is that the power pack second phase of the top-notch Malabar naval exercise with 2 aircraft carriers, fighter jets and 10 other warships from India, US, Japan and Australia came to an end in the Arabian Sea on Friday. So basically, their eye is specifically on expansionist and aggressive China. Apparently. This is the 24th edition of the Malabar exercise. They're sending a clear message saying that they are underlining their commitment to participating as a quad. And if you want to catch up on this story too, you can go to mediamahima.com. That's all we have time for right now, Dujan. On Good Morning Babe, we'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Till then, have yourselves a safe, wonderful, fantastic Friday.
पल की खुशी को गले लगा के जियो न मुंह छुपा के जियो और न सर झुका के जियो
मजा आ रहा है ना? Great music, Vinajan, for the best in entertainment.